Hello everybody. I am going to share with you just a quick 5-minute flow. This can be just a great practice to get yourself moving a little bit if you have 5 minutes today to find a space for a practice. And you won't need any props or anything. We're just going to get right to it. However, if you would like to grab a blanket or a throw pillow is what I have here as some extra support. If you're seated and your knees are higher than your hips, then you'll want to bring your hips up, because if you stay in this seat and your knees are high and they're not really supported, you may start feeling that in your hips pretty quickly. So taking something underneath your hips to prop you up a little bit might feel good. We're going to do a little bit of seated work to start with. So finding that support if you need it, again allowing those knees to be underneath the hips, perhaps closing the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Otherwise, just softening the gaze. Maybe taking your right hand onto your heart center. As you breathe in, exhale, sighing out. Good, let's do one more time like that. Breath in, exhale. Taking that hand off of the body if it's down. Let's take the shoulders and shrug those up towards our ears. Exhale, rounding those shoulders out into the back. Good, we'll do a few circles like that. Inhale the shoulders up. Exhale, round. You can even add the hands in if that feels good to you. Good, pausing with those shoulders down. Inhale, extend the arms high. Exhale, gentle side stretch over to one side. Keeping these bottom ribs up off the hips. Inhale, reach it high. Exhale, find your side stretch over to the other side. Good, breath in, reach it high. This time, exhale, maybe twisting, lifting up from the rib cage, twisting up through the upper body. Inhale, reach that high. Exhale, find your twist over to the other side. Again, if you're pregnant, especially being sure that you're twisting from the rib cage up, not from the belly. Good, inhale, reach that high. And now let's just exhale, release those hands down. Nice, taking the hands to your knees. Let's inhale, lift the rib cage forward. Exhale, rounding through that spine. Good, breath in, lift that heart. Exhale, round that spine back. Good. One more time like that. Breath in. Exhale and around. Good. Coming back up to neutral. Now maybe keep that rib cage floating forward. And then let's sway it towards one side and then press it back. So we're going to circle the rib cage around the hips. Noticing how that feels. You can even take your hands to the rib cage to kind of feel that extension. And when you feel ready, let's go ahead and switch that around to the other way. Again, use your breath to guide you. Inhale it forward. Exhale to round. Nice. Good. Okay, finding your way back to center. Let's go ahead and find our way to tabletop. So you can just swing those legs around. If you have anything underneath you, go ahead and move that out of your way. Setting up with the wrists right under the shoulders, knees right under hips. Hug that belly in towards your spine so you're not kind of like dumping in, keeping that engaged. Breath in, lift your heart. Breath out, round your spine. Good, keep the spine rounded. Let's press back into a child's pose. Maybe you take your fingers a little bit more forward if that feels good to you. The knees can be together or open wide, whatever feels better for you. Spread the fingers wide so you have some energy moving through the hands. Good. Now if your knees are apart, go ahead and bring those knees a little more together. So kind of hugging everything in. Let's take one hand off of the mat and then take your other opposite hand on top. Shift your hips towards that opposite side and then really, really extend out through the fingertips. Breath in here. Exhale it out. Good, inhale, look towards the hands, and let's switch that out the other way. So the hips go one way, the hands go the other way. Okay, taking the One hand on top of the other, pressing back through those hips. Lengthening all the way through the side of the body here. Breath in. Exhale it fully. Nice. Coming back to center into that child's pose. Good. Floating the hips up back to our tabletop. Let's curl toes under, press back through the hips, and now lift those hips high. Your knees can stay very deeply bent here. Keep spreading the fingers wide for downward dog. Now in downward facing dog, you want to make sure that you're not so worried about having the legs straight. You more want to focus on having this angle from the hand all the way out through the shoulder and then back up towards the hips as straight as can be. So shrug those shoulders down and away from your ears. If you're feeling supported here, you could start to lift the hips a little bit higher. Again, don't worry about straightening out the legs or bringing the heels towards the floor. You can even bike pedal the feet a few times if that feels good to you. Keep breathing. You can always sigh out. Exhale to release some heat. Good. Let's slowly float down, back onto hands, knees. Inhale, lift the heart and the tail. Exhale, rounding through that spine. Good. Pressing back towards those heels. Into that child's pose one last time. Here you can take the head down to the floor, or perhaps even stacking hands or stacking one fist on top just to give some support for the head. Coming back to the sensation of the breath here. Expansive breath into the back ribs here. Again, releasing any thoughts in your mind as you inhale, filling up. Exhale, letting go. And I invite you to stay here and breathe as long as you need. If you're ready to start waking your body up, maybe start wiggling your fingers and your toes. Perhaps slowly rolling your wrists and ankles. And as you feel ready, start to slowly rise up one backbone at a time. Shoulder roll when you get to the top. Turn those hands, palms up, breath in, reach those arms high. And exhale, release and let that go. Maybe taking hands to your heart center, pausing for a moment to send yourself some gratitude for these last few minutes, tuning into yourself for your self-care and your well-being.